The entire myth?
Yeah, the entire myth. Boumplay's here, heavyweight.
Crazy.
You know, the champ.
Damn, I wish they came through.
I know, crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
How long are you guys in town?
till tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah,
snap.
tomorrow
That's a short
night.
trip.
Yeah.
So what you doing today?
Today, just man, got like maybe 5-6 interviews.
Uh-huh.
And then at night, these guys wanted to link up, but I'm just like, Ben was supposed to come over yesterday, and Viri came over. I was like, yo, maybe I'm doing one night.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys might want to check in tonight. We'll see. I
Look
wanted
for
to
like
do
a
like a
little
listening.
session.
Yeah, I wanted to do like a little listening thing for my album as well, just with a couple guys. But,
Tonight?
Yeah, but we'll see if BN. I'll definitely hit you up. We'll see if BN can hook it up. Maybe we'll do it at his club.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Manhattan. That would make sense.
Yeah. Just go there, play for a couple people.
All right, cool.
Really a couple. Yeah.
Let me know.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yo, listen, man, we have an exclusive for you. You know, this is one of those rare occasions where we get to speak to a legend out of East Africa. This guy's been in the game. He's shaped a lot of the movements, the sounds, you know, from Uganda to Kenya to Tanzania. The impact has been immense. And throughout the continent, really, I'm joined today by the legendary Navio, ladies and gents. What's poppin', brother?
Chillin', brother, chillin'. Good to be here.
Yeah, my man. It's really good to see you.
Yes.
It's been
You
it's
too.
been a long time.
Yes.
You know, I think the last time I seen you in Kenya must have been 19?
2019.
Definitely
maybe.
before COVID.
Yeah, definitely. Which
So
is too long, right?
It's too long. It's definitely too long.
Nairobi's 40 minutes away.
I was
So it's definitely too long, you know.
It's been too long. And I need to come out there too. I
Definitely.
need to come out there and catch a vibe.
Welcome.
As
Yeah,
well.
Just put an extra week in there.
I'm saying.
Because, yeah, I mean, you get lost.
Yeah.
Uganda, you get lost in the vibe and the cultures. Yeah,
I'm
it's
saying.
beautiful.
Now, congratulations on your new album.
Thank you.
Vibes Out the East.
Yes.
You know, you're definitely representing for the region with this one.
Trying, man. Yeah, album went #1. You know, first week it was out, so I'm very happy about that.
Okay.
And yeah,
And that seems organic too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest take, you know, from the whole thing is just the critique.
Yeah.
You know, like the way the critics have come in and the way they're talking about the album. Really, I couldn't have imagined like a better response. You know, I'm still waiting to hear like the negative about the album. And
Wow, why would you expect anything negative, bro?
I mean, because every other album is like, you release an album, you have people who are going to be like, oh, no,
both sides, yeah.
Song number 2 to 5, no.
Uh-huh.
I haven't had that with this album. It's the first time. This is my 6th album.
Yeah.
This is the first time I haven't heard one negative comment. So I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, so
somebody.
I recently, started listening to the project, and definitely something that stood out for me was the record with Nviri, because I just think, Nviri is one of the best songwriters we have in the region.
Absolutely.
And he just kills it with his melodies.
Yeah.
And that song is so uniquely East African.
Yeah.
It definitely gave me a bit of a nostalgic vibe while still keeping it fresh.
Yeah.
So I think that was very important, and that's what I'm getting a lot from the project.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I was just wondering, like, your thought process, at least sonically, when you're especially putting together these beats. What was the thinking behind it?
I mean, I think Navio, the Navio brand has always been about being front and center, taking on those challenges, kicking down doors. They know me for pushing out into the rest of Africa.
Yeah.
Especially for the first 15 years of my career. So I think I wanted to give them that on the album. Be like, okay, Afro trap is going crazy. Let's do it like that. Okay, there's a drill thing happening. Okay, let's see what happens with that. All of this different type of music that's now popping in the region. I wanted to put that on the album. But then, like you say, with stuff like Nviri, or the Hamadi song that opens the album, Charity Starts at Home. So I wanted to kind of take our sound and be like, okay, what is our, what are we putting out into the market?
Yeah.
Because we've always had that Congolese influence from 20 years ago. The South African influence that came in from back in the day, the Chaka Chakas and the Brenda Fassie's.
There's a lot of dancehall influence.
Dancehall influence, the whole Jamaican takeover, reggae, cannot be overlooked. How it moved to Nigeria, moved to actually, I would say, Kenya,
Yeah.
In Uganda, that whole like Wahoo,
The
nameless,
Ogopa, yeah, Ogopa
vibe.
era,
Yeah.
yeah.
There was an Ogopa era as
Yeah.
well. Man, found a wicked picture of Vinnie Googs. me and Vinny.
Vinnie Banton.
Yes,
Yeah,
Vinny
and
Banton,
Mr.
sorry, and
Goods.
Mr. Googs
Yeah.
from back in the day.
Yeah,
Found a
yeah.
picture like we're all like, wilding out in Uganda. I'm put that up soon, TBT. So yeah, you had all of those different eras, and I was like, what is the new thing that we can add?
Yeah.
So songs like that in Viri, it's dope that you heard that.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
trying to experiment now and see like what can we add and put in that's East African but still present and still relevant and can still play around the continent. So
For sure.
so that's definitely the move.
Yeah, man, and I'd like to hear your perspective on the evolution of the impact of music, because it's been different with the different forms. When you were coming up, I think it was more traditional media. You had to break into radio, you had to break into TV, and then you did it not only in your country, in East Africa, and then later on throughout the continent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're seeing now with streaming, there's a lot more access globally to African music. Do you feel like that access has kind of like influenced how we're making music, or is it the other way around?
I
That
think
our music is just now being more accessible to the globe?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think the music has always been hot, but that immediate access and that viral nature
Yeah.
of music is one thing to talk about. Of course, also, I think also Africans realizing their power.
Yeah.
And I say that in the way of, I always used to sit there and I was like, imagine how big I would be if Uganda had 260 million people, like
saying.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
With 40 million living in the diaspora.
I'm saying.
How big would I be? Why hasn't anyone kind of capitalized on that? And the industry there just wasn't ready, but now they realize that power. The same with Fally Ipupa. He's like, I speak French, which half of the world speaks.
Yeah, Francophone is huge. Yeah.
How can I capitalize on that and be switching up my Lambos like he does? So I think people are now realizing their power, and we now have to realize what our talent is. Life of the party. That's what East Africa is. So that is a theme. Good vibes, good vibrations. Like we have also rich culture, and I mean that in the way of, we've had a lot of the colonial influence that has taken away culture from a lot of places. But in Uganda, for example, we have like 9 legit kings.
Yeah.
We've got like kingdoms of 6 million people, 8 million people. Like, we need to take advantage of all of that. I think that is how we get into, creating a new vibe out the East, that's going to take over African music. So,
I mean, you mentioned something there about population, and especially in the diaspora, which seemed to have a lot of influence in breaking into those markets.
Yeah.
Do you attribute it just to the population, or did the sound also develop? Because another thing I'll say is you were very early on embracing Afrobeats artists, collaborating with them,
Absolutely.
Introducing them to our market as well. So I don't know, from your perspective, do you think that the music evolved, or is it just the market that
The
evolved?
music definitely evolved. There were big Nigerian acts that I would refuse to work with because I was not feeling.
Yeah.
I was not feeling their vibe. I wasn't feeling the music, the quality of the music, quality of the singing. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I don't regret it. Even when they're blown up, I'm like, yo, bro, you were.
If it wasn't it wasn't
Yeah,
it.
it wasn't. You weren't popping. I'm sorry. Lyrically or whatever back then. So I think that the music definitely has changed. Niger boys, East African boys, we're hustlers.
Yeah.
You understand? If we know one
Fast.
thing is working,
Yeah,
we
we're
know
hustlers
one thing is
fast.
working. And also we chase quality.
Yeah.
Nigerians, you've seen the way they dress and whatnot. West Africans, the way they dress, they do chase excellence. The cars they want to drive, etc. Why wouldn't that spill over into their music?
Yeah.
So if I do something and it doesn't work, so be it. If I do something and it works,
Double down,
how do I mix it? How do I master it better? How do I get my vocals better? How do I train up? These are the things that the people in the Nigerian industry have done.
Yeah.
So it's not just about population. They've been learning.
Putting
They've been
in
on
the
their
work,
game.
yeah.
And putting the work in. They are natural hustlers. It's like, okay, my management team is going to do what it does.
Yeah.
But what can I do as an artist? And now to take my brand, and compete.
Yeah.
Burner walks in, Jay-Z walks in. I'm like, who's wearing the flyer gear? You know what I mean?
I'm saying it's probably Burner.
Yeah, those style. Okay, of course, one is a straight hustler. But I guess Burner was in the streets for a while, man. I knew him from London.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you know what I mean? You'd be like, wow, authentic, dope, different way of dressing.
Yeah.
And then you take like a Young Thug, you'd be like, oh, very dope, weird, eccentric way of dressing. You know what I mean? They both have a way to keep up with whatever the industry standard is. That's what they're chasing now, and I love that. While still keeping it, authentically African. So they've definitely learned, and they're not just out there, doing the same thing.
I hear you. In 2021, coming into this year as well, there was the emerging sound of Amapiano.
Yeah.
Amapiano is definitely also in East Africa is one of the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I'm seeing even a lot of West African acts embracing Amapiano. It's like an Afro piano subgenre at this point, right?
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, like, even with the emergence of such a sound, because now we can't talk about population or diaspora.
Yeah.
What do you attribute the success of Amapiano to?
The dopeness, man.
Okay.
Those I lived there for 6 years. 1 out of 3.
The log drum, or what do they call it?
I lived there for 6 years. It's like, they're really dope. 1 out of 3 people can dance. 1 out of 3 people will sing you under the table.
Yeah.
You'd be like, have you never thought of having a singing career? Nope, I'm good. I'm just gonna go get back on my taxi, keep driving. But the guy's hitting notes like, you know what I mean? So SA is a very culturally, musically advanced. They've been through certain hardships that have allowed them that thing. It's like singers from the South in the States. They've been through a certain type of hardship that I think has bred that creativity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, the water, like, it runs deep. And so when they get on stage, it's a different ball game as far as performance and theatrics, and they've always been about that. So in their music, they've influenced us so many times. The Yvonne Chaka Chaka phase, and not only influenced the sound, but the mastering of it. Because remember, they had people like Duran Duran and Michael Jackson flying in there.
Yeah, for sure.
People recording songs, the hottest groups in the world. They have some of the best producers. Their video games, they've got guys, DPs shooting movies with, Elysium, and, you know what I mean?
Hollywood films,
blockbuster movies,
for
Chappie
sure.
and stuff like that.
For sure.
Their effects, their ads, people fly South African teams to go and shoot a Mercedes ad in Germany. So they have all of that. And then at the same time, the black culture gives them that cool, that vibrance. So they've actually, contributed to the game so many times.
Yeah.
The other country I'll say that does this a lot, Ghana.
High Life.
High Life. Azonto itself, you know what I mean? Like Nigeria took that, but that's a Ghana thing. There's like 3 or 4.
And even a lot of the Nigerian acts spend a lot of time in Ghana, especially when they're making music.
Absolutely.
Which is a weird thing.
Yeah, true. And I was on that remix with Sarkodie, Ice Prince, EL was originally EL, King. And that song as well is named after like the whole movement that they had. There are a lot of movements that have come out of Ghana, and Nigerians be like, thanks.
Let me get that.
Yeah. And it's not even let me get that. The music's there to be shared, right? We also ourselves can't be like, oh, my border stops here. You are now using my sound. Like the drum is, an African thing. The drum is universal, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, SA has influenced the music so many times.
So then so what you're saying basically is that we shouldn't look at, so I can be in Kenya and do Afro beats and not feel any type of way about it.
Yeah, I feel that. Okay. I feel like you can do, because you can't limit creativity. As soon as we put ourselves in boxes, we're already in trouble. I'm from Kenya, so I want to do Swahili type, music strictly. You should maybe add that. Yeah. But remember, you want to be a continental act. You want to perform in one country your whole life. Yeah. That's like, for me, creativity should never be limited. If a kid comes, a kid who grew up he's Kenyan and he grew up in China, comes back and wants to drop a Chinese album.
Yeah.
For me, I can't limit creativity. I can't tell another creative what to do.
I hear you.
Maybe he's really dope, you know. So in the same way, as soon as we start thinking about borders and territories, that's a problem. And that's one of, I'll say, the beat was crazy, the Daxo Charlie sent me for the song Raha. But the other half of it was like, there's this dialogue that's starting, telling rappers about the fact that, oh, why are you trying to do I'm a piano? Why are you getting on this? And I was like, I got 67 awards, bro.
Now you've been doing
I've
this.
I've toured 35, 40 countries.
Yeah.
You cannot tell another rapper or break down another rapper's spirit.
Yeah.
A young kid coming up who wants to rap on raga, reggae, whatever. If he's a hip hopper and he has love for that, we'll treat him in a certain regard. But he should be free creatively to do whatever he wants to do.
I hear you.
So that's another reason I was just like, yo, Raha, give me that beat.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Let me change the narrative. If I'm one of the OGs, let me have that influence on the game.
Okay.
Let people know that we're free.
Yeah.
Don't bring those colonial barriers and tell me what I can and can't do as an artist. I became an artist to be free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't lock me in a box.
I hear you. Well, let's talk about East Africa, all right?
Yeah.
You know, you've been, I think when Tanzania was dominating hip hop, you know, you were heavy in the mix.
Yeah.
You know, and then of course Kenya came in
Ooh,
with
K-Shaka.
Klepto and them, K-Shaka and
Ooh.
them. You know, you saw that as well. So
Juakali, no Nini,
Juakali,
gang, gang.
you see?
Wow.
So like you've seen the entire evolution of especially rap in East Africa,
Intimately.
and I think we probably have the best rappers on the continent.
East Africa.
What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were just saying Kenya. I was like,
No,
whoa, hold
East
on.
Africa, East
yeah,
Africa.
Yeah.
I think so.
Definitely, bar for bar.
Yeah.
You can't really.
And so,
SA is pretty legit lyrically.
They're dope.
But if you talk about like diversity, ready to go, because
Yeah.
you know people say a Stogie T, you know you can just throw a Fin Q there.
Yeah, of
You
course.
know, you talk about an AKA, you could throw Navio, take it. You put a Casper there, you know, you'd be like Tucker or Calligraph, handle that. You know what I mean? So I'd say the EA, Ghana again,
Yeah.
South Africa for hip hop.
What does it take? What does it take for? Because I feel like East Africa was a lot more popular, influential on the continent.
Yeah.
What do you think happened, and how can we reclaim that?
I think our natural
And vibes out the East right now.
yes, yeah, go get vibes out the East. Let's work on this together. You know what I mean? Think about it as therapy, school work.
Yes,
This is
sir.
our school work. No, I think we can, as an industry, we need to first realize that hip hop has the way people dress, and it influences the way people talk, and it influences the way people relate to each other, the way they party.
Yeah.
The songs coming on, you know, you can have any song in the world. You know, when you're in the right mode for turning up, hip hop fits in anywhere.
Yeah.
You can throw on a Rick Ross after Justin Bieber, you know. So we are not limited.
Yeah.
You know, you cannot throw opera music in, you know what I mean? But in a day-to-day, hip hop is a street art form.
Yeah.
And there's streets everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we have to realize that more people love it. Two, we have to physically change that narrative in some PD's minds that, oh, that doesn't pop here. Oh, that hip hop doesn't work here. You know what I mean? You've seen Calligraph stepping on stage nowadays. It's bananas.
Maza. In any
crazy.
country he goes to also, you know?
Sark, the
It's
last
insane.
10 years, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Navio.
Yeah, of course.
In UG, like,
Yeah.
when these kids step on stage, it's a different, you know, it's a different animal. So people need to give it its credit, realize its power. And then we need the corpus to realize that it needs to be running alongside whatever else is happening.
So there's a programming issue,
Yeah,
there's a corporate relationship issue.
yeah.
Okay, I hear you.
They don't associate us with
That's valid.
anything
Is
bankable.
this why bongo has been at the forefront, you think?
In terms of music or hip hop?
No, yeah, bongo flavor, like
Yeah,
Diamond and them, whatever they be doing.
Oh, yeah. Well, Diamond and I don't think I can call Diamond bongo flavor.
I mean, that's how he started off. I mean, he's a lot
Yeah.
more diverse now.
Yeah, true. Yeah. By
Yeah.
the way, he was a rapper.
Yeah.
Right. I think that they had a certain love for it. Not to say that Kenya didn't, but a lot of the Kenyan rappers that were blowing up, it translated to Tanzania, but even the Swahili is a little bit different. The Shang and whatnot was
it's
a little
different.
bit different.
Yeah, the lingo, yeah.
And Kenya necessarily, sometimes a guy could become big, not for the bars, but his bravado, his swagger, what he's saying to you, the realness.
Prezzo.
Where's he from? You know what I mean? Juakali, like some of these guys just, their presence, you know what I mean? I was at Jipange and I saw them have to switch Mr. Vegas with Juakali. And I saw Juakali shut down 100,000 people.
Oh yeah.
And
He
who,
commands the crowd.
I've never seen,
As soon as he says Watu,
bro, I would say that
Shut
clearly,
down.
I would say that clearly, I have never seen a crowd response like that
yeah,
since.
100,000
For a
is a
rapper,
big crowd. Yeah,
I have never seen a crowd response.
Yeah.
The Juakali at a show called Jipange.
yeah, insane.
Bar none on the continent. I've seen everybody perform. I got songs with everybody.
Yeah,
So, we have to realize our power and what we can do with it, and then we have to make the corporates realize,
yeah.
you know, what we can do with it.
Okay.
I mean, there's the endorsement side of it,
Yeah,
right? They like
yeah.
rappers. We're articulate. We can come and we can say,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But they should now realize that they can do more.
I hear you. Well, definitely, man. You know, it's rare that we get to speak about the game like this with someone as seasoned as you. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
But yeah, Vibes Out the East right now. There's a lot of features on there. You mentioned Stogie
Yes,
T is on there.
T's on there. Ben Paul.
Yeah, Ben Paul is on there. You know, of course,
Nviri.
Nviri, the storyteller, is on there. You know, it's probably my favorite record.
We got Eli Wamala,
Yeah.
who he passed away, but he was a legendary artist.
Rest in peace.
Like a Bob
Flex
Marley,
Paper is on there.
Flex the Paper, of course, always. The Myth is on there.
Yeah.
Just want to send a shout out to as well to Bandale. He's the artist. He had just started. We did our first song together called Scatter at the end of the album. He passed away. He wasn't able to redo his vocals. And yeah, he got mugged. Yeah, and passed away at 21 years old. But he was going to be a big force. But we still said we're going to put the song on the album. So big shout out to Bandale as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, Lillian and Babazi, we did a song called Survivor. You know, get you up in the morning type of jam.
Yeah.
There was a lot of amazing acts. And then I had some of the guys that people really haven't heard on the continent that they should really look into. Lagoon the rapper.
Oh yeah,
Price
and
Temper.
he's dope.
He's dope. He's dope.
Like he can really rap, this Lagoon
yeah,
cat.
and put the chorus. He does the choruses. He produces. So he produces his own song, does those monster choruses, raps.
Nah, he's dope.
Done.
He's dope. I tapped in with him a couple years ago on Instagram, and I think he's really good.
Yeah.
Yo, so what was your, like, if you look at your discography right now,
Yeah.
what, you're 6-7 albums in?
Yeah. Plus 3 with Click That.
So like 10 albums in.
Yeah. Plus 2 mixtapes.
So like a gazillion projects
I
in.
didn't know why I didn't do the mixtapes. Being a battle MC,
Yeah.
I didn't actually do too many mixtapes. Like
So if you're to, if right now you're to look at your discography and give me your top 3 albums of all time,
gosh.
what would you say?
Oh my gosh. Of course, gotta show respect to Half the Legend.
Yeah.
Half the Legend was, my first solo album.
Yeah.
First song I came out with, I still have to perform today every time I get step on stage. Or the crowd ain't having it. Tracks like Ngalo, Bugumu, Saluni. Like it was just endless. It was crazy. So let's give that its respect.
Half the Legend.
Yeah.
Number 1.
And number 1, Pride. The Pride album, that was mad. That's the first time I had like 3 or 4 songs go number 1 in Africa.
Oh yeah.
Chigozi, One and Only, Trouble, Qatar.
Pride had all the hits.
Yo, Chameleon was on that joint at the end. There was such big hits.
Yeah.
I didn't do the Chameleon video. And he was so popular at the time.
Yeah.
That's how big that album got. So Pride. And then, man, Vibes Out the East. My latest.
Vibes Out the East.
I haven't heard any negativity. I don't have, it's not like Strength in Numbers, the one before.
Yeah.
We've got the Burna Boy remix on there. We've got Ice Prince on there. We've got Shay Shay. We've got, Calligraph. I've got King Saha. Like, it was chock full of amazing acts.
Yeah.
But for some reason, guys are like Vibes is, my gold standard.
Yeah.
And they also,
and
they're
I
also
was really
tipping it.
asking to see whether Vibes is in top 3 because I'm putting it up there.
Yeah, no, thank you. Manju, thank you.
I'm putting it up
And
there.
actually, mine is top 3 for me personally. They're putting up as top 3 ever released in Uganda.
Ooh,
Next to Afrigo.
okay.
How classic is that? Afrigo. Next to Philly Lutaya. They're putting
So this is
Vibes-
like all time.
Yeah, they're putting Vibes Out the East like right there, and I was like, wow. So, man, I'm
Get
blessed.
that. Go
Vibes
go
Out the
get that.
East.
Navio new album right now. We're gonna do some promo, right? We're gonna
Yeah.
do a couple things.
Got to.
Get it on Boomplay.
Absolutely.
And my guys out here in Kenya. So
Uh-huh.
yo, make sure you do a little listening. I want to pull up,
Yo,
catch a vibe,
let's
right?
do it tonight, man. Let's do it tonight, man. Got the boys, falling in and varying the
Yeah,
squad. So
yeah.
let's do it.
My man.
Boomplay first.
Another exclusive with the legendary Navio. Till next time. Peace.
Boomplay, baby. Keep it locked.
Yes, sir.
We wildin', by the end of the night you grindin'.